For Year 9 Maths, we're going to go through the chapter review. Okay, so I'm going to do the multiple choice questions first, so we get an idea of how to approach all the questions. So in question 1, we want an algebraic expression that represents 2 less than 3 lots of n. Okay, so when I go 3 lots of n, I'm going to write 3n, that's 3 lots of n, and I want 2 less, so 3n minus 2. So the answer to question 1 would be and solution C. Okay. Question 2. The simplified form of this expression, we've got 6ab plus 14a divided by 2 minus 2ab. Now remember, the order of operations still apply, so I need to do the division first. Okay, so 6ab, I'm going to divide 14a by 2. So if I divide 14 lots of a by 2, I'm left with 7 lots of a minus 2ab. Okay. Now I need to simplify the expression because we happen to have 2 like terms. Remember, like terms are terms with exactly the same letters. Okay. The numbers can be a bit different. That's okay, but that's why I can combine them. But the letters have to be exactly the same. So AB is exactly the same as the 2, -2 and 6. So 6 minus 2 is 4 lots of AB plus 7A. That's my final answer. So let's check if that option is available. 4AB plus 7A. Okay, so the answer is D for question 2. Let's look at question 3. The solution to the equation x on 3 minus 1 equals 4. Now, I'm going to use, I'm going to solve this equation. Now, please get the first step right, okay? The x is divided by 3, and you're subtracting 1 from it. So you always have to do what you did in the last step. So you always have to plus 1 first. If I multiply both sides by 3, that doesn't work because not only do I have to multiply this term by 3, I need to multiply this by 3 and that by 3. So it creates a complication. So if I add 1 to both sides, I'm left with x on 3. I got rid of the 1 on this side. They cancel. So I'm left with 5. So now what I do is, because x is divided by 3, the opposite is multiplying by 3. So I need to multiply by 3 on both sides. So you're left with x equals to 15. So we're done there, right? Question 4. The result when a number is tripled and increased by 21 is 96. Okay, so that's a bit of a tricky question. So I'll go over here. Question 4. The result when a number, so a number could be x, is tripled, so 3x, increased by 21. So the result of the tripling increased by 21 equals 96. So how I solve this is I subtract 21 from both sides. Remember, always get the first step right, because that's really important. 3x equals to, okay, so if I subtract 20 from 96, I get 76. 76 subtract 1 would be 75, okay? Now I divide both sides by 3. Okay, so I should get, now remember you're allowed to use a calculator, so if you can't do the numbers in your head, that's fine. X equals 25. So your answer should be C. Now, I don't think I set the answer to 3. The answer to 3 is D. Okay, so if you're wondering, I did forget to put the actual answer there. Question 5. Okay, the solution to 3x minus 1 equals 5x plus 7. Your first step is to always expand any brackets, okay? So just be really careful. I'd like to draw arrows, so I highly encourage you to draw the arrows because it reminds you that you're timesing 3 with both terms inside. So 3 times x is 3x, 3 times -1 is -3, equals 5x plus 7. So now we've got, as you can see, we've got a scenario where we've got variables on both sides. Okay, so you want to get rid of one of them. The way I want to get rid of one of them is I want to get rid of the lowest one, so I want to get rid of negative 3x. So if I subtract 3x from both sides, that gets rid of this. So you're left with negative 3 equals 5 minus 3 is 2x plus 7. What I do now is subtract 7 from both sides. So I'm running out of space, so I'll just do it over here. So if I subtract 7 off both sides, I get I'm left with, so, and get your negative numbers right. So negative 3, negative 7 is negative 10 equals 2x. If I divide both sides by 2, I get x equals negative 5. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. So your answer is B, question 5. Okay, question 6. Let's have a look at question 6. Question 6. So X is raised as sausage sizzle. Once $50 running costs taken out, the money shared equally amongst the three charities, so they get 120 each. So X dollars is raised on the sausage sale. Once $50 is taken out, so if I take out 50 from X, the money shared equally amongst three charities. Okay, so the result of X minus 50, you're dividing it by 3, and you know that they each get 120. So that's your equation. It's a bit tricky, so your answer should be A. All right, so question 7, if that equals that, then the value of H is close to. Okay, so the way I like to approach this question is I want to make H the subject first, so it makes it easier for me to work out. So you got 2 pi RH. We want to, and I'll highlight this using a good color. I want to make H the subject. Okay, so I want H on its own. So the way we achieve this is if we, can you see H is times 2 times pi times R. Now pi, just assume pi to be like another letter. So if I want to get rid of all three terms because they're times each other, all I need to do is I need to divide both sides by 2 pi r. 2 pi r. So my H would equal, these cancel. So I'm left with H equals A divided by 2 pi r. Now it says to sub in certain values. So my A is 310. My well, we have a 2's there. We have a pi there. Pi is actually a number on calculator, and R is 4. Okay, so I'm going to enter this all on my calculator. So let's go on to my CAS. Okay, I've got a fancy CAS, so don't don't be put off by the fact it's different to yours. So I've got 310 divided by, I'm going to put brackets in because I'm dividing everything in, at the bottom, times 2 pi times 4. Now, just in case you're wondering, where do I get the pi button? On your calculator, it should be shift and another button. Okay, you should see like a little sign that says pi at the top. So you go shift, press that button, and a pi will appear. So you should get 12.33. Okay, so let's see if that is one solution. 12.33. So A would be your answer. Okay, so basically that's how you approach a question like that. A will be your answer. Okay. All right. We'll go to a new slide because I'm running out of space. Okay. Just get rid of this. Get rid of that. Next question. The formula transposed to make A the subject is, so question 8, we've got D equals A on B. Now, I need to remove the square root. So the opposite of square rooting is squaring. So you've got square root. The opposite of that is squaring. Okay, if I square both sides, then the D becomes squared and it removes the house, basically, of the square root. Now, what do I do next? I need to make A the subject, so I multiply both sides by B. So this becomes BD squared equals A, okay? And that should be your answer. So your A should be BD squared, so your answer should be E, option E. Now question 9 we're not going to do because I didn't cover in class. Question 10 we can definitely do. Okay, so let's go to question 10. Question 10. Oops. Okay, for question 10, we're trying to solve an inequality. Okay, so we've got 1 minus, 1 minus 2x. Okay, let's see if it works. 1 minus 2x, let me check the question. 1 minus 2x is greater than 9. Is greater than 9. I want to solve this inequality. So in order to solve this inequality, I can't deal with the negative 2 first because that's attached to the x, it's times to it. I need to get rid of the 1 first. So I'm just going to subtract 1 off both sides. So we get negative 2x is greater than, not equal to, greater than 8, because 9 minus 1 is 8, and then I divide both sides by negative 2. Now, whenever we divide by a negative number, we have to pay attention. There's a trigger, okay? You have to swap the direction of the inequality. So 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4, so x will be less than negative 4. So your answer should be A. A should be answer. Question 10. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how to approach questions like this. You've got to be quick, okay? You can't take too long on the actual test. I've just gone through blow by blow how to do each of these questions. So hopefully that works.